game is not for everybody. You pretty much have to adjust it for yourself. You can't be these coaches, or you can't be a rosebud. You can't be all these damn dudes or whatever. But now we have way too many dudes jumping from channel to channel to channel to channel, trying to put everything in one and trying to mimic what everybody is doing, but they still don't go out and go talk to anybody. Why the fuck are men just living on YouTube where it feels like they're trying to live vicariously through people like yourself?
All right, so because they want to be someone else, because being them it lacks
It's lame.
It lacks results. It lacks substance. So I'm going to say this. In the beginning, you do have to be someone you're not in order to refine it and then find and discover who you really are. So there is an aspect. Very few people are original. Very few. As a matter of fact, some of my talking points have to be inspired by something, which is why I don't read a lot of books. I don't read a lot of books. I write books. I don't read books. Okay. I used to read books. I don't read books anymore, because what I'm doing in that sense is I'm actually attaching myself to that man or that woman's experience. Right. Whereas I want to have as close to an original thought as possible. So how do you do that? You stop listening to what other people are doing and watching what they're doing and absorbing what they've done. And then you go out there and do something yourself. And so that's why I don't read a lot of books. I don't watch a lot of people's podcasts no more. When something's trending, I don't give a fuck. I talk about what I want to talk about, and that's it. And that's how I remain as close to being original as possible when I do that. So that's what I would tell young people is there's going to be a time that you have to emulate and imitate, because you got to try to figure out what works, what doesn't work. There is a season for that. But if you're getting into your 30s and you're still trying to mimic what other people are doing, you're going to lose you're going to lose your potential brilliance. So I don't read books. I'm telling you right now, I don't read no fucking books. Fuck that motherfucker's experience. I only care about my experience and what I see out here. That's why my game is so tight, because I'm not living vicariously through somebody former. I'm living my own life experience. That's why I'm able to pick up on everything. My mind is so clear. See, when you have so much other people's information in your system, in your head, you can't be yourself. You can't. You're them. You're them. That's why people are scared to get married. They heard somebody else say that. Now, look, there's precautions. There's a way to get married. Okay? But you got to get out there and start living. I ain't reading no motherfuckers' books. I'm a book author, but I'll say, look, hey, you want to buy my book? Buy it. But if it helps you get to a more authentic place, cool. But I'd rather you go out there and live and figure out who you are in the midst of this shit. So remember, guys, the more podcasts you watch, the more information you absorb, whether it be television, media, books. When I hear a dude say, I read 30 books a month, I know he's a phony motherfucker. I know that. I know that. I'm like, dude, you don't know yourself. I guarantee if I sat with you long enough and adversity came, you wouldn't know what the fuck to do. I know you would. Put that fuck. Look, there's a time to read books. Maybe 2022, you schedule it. 2022, I'm going to read as many books as possible. And then I'm done with these motherfucking books. And then I'm going to go write my own book. And then I'm going to go out there and do my own shit. So the reason why people mimic is because they don't believe in themselves and they don't give themselves enough time to go out there and experience life in a singular way to figure out who and what they are.
I've been married now for 8 years, right? And got 2 babies. There was no book on that shit. And, there's no book on that shit. I'm going to tell you this, and I actually agree with you, because experience is pretty much what trumps anything. You discover a whole lot when you experience, and then, like you said, when you wrote the book, cut the bullshit, because I automatically thought, like, oh, he's over here telling motherfuckers to get over their own bullshit, but you said it yourself. Nah, it was about me dealing with my own shit, getting over it and triumphing that shit, and then, leading other motherfuckers to do the same and shit. See, now all the shit that I read is basically on, on business and shit. Basically how to be more successful, what to invest in health. You know, that's pretty much what reading is supposed to be for. But when it comes to reading all these little manuals and shit, you know, like even shout out to Lucario, his How to Have Sex with 2 Women, 2 women a Day, shameless plug. It literally wasn't about fucking 2 women a day. He was talking about his experience.
Yeah.
You know, but then you're absolutely right. We have too many cats who are reading, the game and mystery method or whatever, and they try to go outside and try to utilize that shit, but they still fail because you're not them. You're trying to use somebody else's thinking and somebody else's experience for yourself. I got married because shit in the streets was so fucking hot. It was damn near time to settle down. Like I even told people, when girls catch STDs from other chicks, that means it's time for a dude to just pick one, be happy, have a family, grow up. That was my shit. I kind of felt like it's time for me to grow up. Let me stop fucking everybody. Just time to just grow up. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I felt that it was the best decision because I'm a better thinker. I feel like I'm a better man, probably because I'm a provider. So I gotta hustle harder, and I love it. I feel like I'm a king. I provide for my kids, and guess what? The kids got somebody they can look up to. And now we have the platform. We have the CO2 Rawcast platform. And Diggy just joined us. Shout out to Diggy, man. Welcome back, man. And so, yeah, we have this platform because we want to basically help improve men as well, especially when it comes to the marriage realm. You get guys prepped for life. We want to help men prep for marriage and continue to have a very, very successful marriage. And yeah, you're going to have some bumps in the road, but we want to be able to give advice and suggestions on how to, conquer those bumps in the road. Right. Marriage is not a walk in the park. The shit is like the fucking military. It's not for everybody. I say it all the time.
So here's my opinion. Every man born is a simp. All right? Because you're born into the simp conditioning. All right, so you're born into this simp shit. So it's your responsibility to get out of it, to kill the simp. All right, but every man born has shades of being a simp. Okay, even if your father was macho, he might have been a simp in some areas. He might have been a simp like in business. Maybe he was like an alpha with the chicks, but he was a simp with his boss. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he was an alpha with his boss, but he was a simp with his wife. So every man has shades of being a simp. Every man, in my opinion. And that's why I say you have to become a champion. You have to become a man. Not when people say, hey, you were born great. Fuck out of here. No, you weren't. You got to become great. Okay? You might have terrible genetics. You might have had an alcoholic father. He had an alcoholic father. Nobody can hold a job. Your genetics are terrible. So you're now you got a lot of work to do. You know what I'm saying? So like I think people underestimate even their own genetic makeup, why they think and behave the way you do. My father died when I was 3, but my mother tells me all the time, you act just like your father. Well, how could I act just like my father if I don't know the motherfucker? Right. Because he is in me. I have his genes, so you're up against that even. And then you're up against social conditioning, how society is grooming them to be. So you have to kill the simp. The simp is there. And so I feel I've killed my simp. He's been dead. And he don't even come back. The simp don't even come. I've annihilated him, bro. I'm like, hey, bro, you did what you needed to do.
You slayed the simp.
And he's gone. So the only way I could deliver this series is because I killed my simp. I even conquered my genes, man. You gotta learn see, these are things guys gotta think about. You act like your father, you act like your grandfather, you got your great grandfather's nose, you got your mother's chin. You are a product of those before you. So you come with their personality traits. Just like when you hear a crack baby, okay, why is he a crack baby? Because the mother was doing crack, the father was doing this. So the baby has absorbed that. So I just want guys to know that much of you isn't even you. It's your mother, it's your father. So you have to identify these things, get clarity, and separate yourself from those things mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, and then become your own man. But it starts with killing the simp.
Motherfuckers is not even married. There ain't nothing simpish about being married. So let me go ahead and just get that shit out of the way right now. Some of the realest motherfuckers are like, matter of fact, Rosebud is married, ain't he?
He was.
Was married. Okay. Oh, but still, he was married. That's the whole point. So the thing is, I'm not saying that real men get married, but you don't have to be a simp to get married. Some of like the G's motherfuckers, Frank Lucas and anybody else like that were married men. And honestly, to tell you the truth, this is one of the most challenging things you can do. Imagine you only have one woman to provide for, or one woman to pretty much please, and dang near, hopefully make happy as life goes on. And guess what? In return, you get the reciprocation. It is a mental fuck job when you're married, because it. Just think, you're up here and everybody for life, you're the reliable. Imagine like that is a whole lot of fucking stress, especially on myself. If I fall, my house falls. And that's how I feel every day. I feel like everything is on me. So whenever I'm out there talking about I ain't getting married, marriage is not there for everybody. But don't be anti-marriage. Talk about, well, I don't want to lose half my shit and pay $300 a month for my ex-wife like Dr. Dre and shit. Well, that's their business. That's their shit. Everybody has their own damn map. That's gonna happen to me. But everybody pretty much just has their own way of doing things and shit. But I don't like it when motherfuckers out there are talking about fuck marriage and all. Alan Roger Curry, his ass is married. Guy had a baby too. Matter of fact, I think his 1 year anniversary just passed and shit. And he was never addicted. But he just now realized that, damn, this shit is one of the most challenging things that any man can pretty much overcome. And then when you have a healthy marriage, you're the fucking G. And so that puts people like myself in place where, yeah, I can actually speak on this shit. I can actually give suggestions and advice of like how you probably need to work through a roadblock in a marriage or even just a committed relationship. You even said it yourself one point, Winners Lounge, I think before we started recording, I believe you said married men pretty much have the most game because we kind of have like the biggest challenge. One woman that we got to provide for, that we might get shit tests from here and there. We can't always check. Sometimes we got to be like, you know what? Let me, because even I admit, as a man, I have to hold myself accountable. So even I be fucking up sometimes, So all you guys out there that pretty much, you guys aren't just pursuing women just to fuck. You guys want girlfriends. You guys want to commit a relationship. Cool. There's nothing wrong with that. So don't let all the simp shit, like EO is not calling you a simp. He's just making the point. It's the pushover days are over. It's just time to man up. Hold yourself accountable. Challenge yourself and be influential to the woman that you want to be with. Because guess what? She ain't gonna follow no weak dude. That's just it. That's the point of the whole entire series. And I've been digging this shit.
Some women do want weak dudes. So just remember, some women do. They literally stalk and prey on weak dudes. Okay, so there's some women that want that too.
Yeah, but they got ulterior motive about this shit. Yeah.
I respect the man that wants to get married, but I also respect the man that doesn't. So I respect men. If you whatever you want, own that shit, and you'll get my respect. But it all comes back to you being confident with the lifestyle that you want to lead. And I'll say this: never get married to make a bitch happy. Never. Okay.
You ain't lying.
Yeah. So, and if you feel like you gotta constantly make her happy, don't marry her. Okay. You'll be killing yourself trying to make that bitch happy, bro. It'll be a miserable life. Find a chick that her desire is to make you happy. Okay. A woman's natural desire is to make her man happy, but also and vice versa is his desire to protect her, to guide her, and to help evolve her and his family. Okay, so
yes.
That should be the man's desire. Don't be lovey-dovey with your bitch. I don't suggest it. She gonna abuse you for that shit. Don't marry for love. For real, she is. Don't marry for love because that's some Hallmark holiday bullshit. Don't marry for love. Marry her because it makes sense to marry that broad. She brings value to you. She's on board with your mission. You're on board with her mission. Let's say she's an artist and she wants to open up an art gallery. You can put her on game to help her open that art gallery. As a matter of fact, you could be co-owner of that shit, or she'll be co-owner, you're the owner, and she co-owns it, and she wants you to run it. So
you can market the shit.
Yeah, the man always has to be leading, but you should never marry because she looks good. Hopefully she looks good, but that can't be the primary reason. And two, you should never fall in love with a woman. A woman should fall in love with you. That's the natural order of things.